crazy.
No woman, no cry. Good morning. Here we are again. Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Morning Laughter podcast. It's your girl, Shilla, and it's...
Michelle.
I didn't say my bill because last episode, if you remember, she was cussing me out saying, oh, I'm so tired of it. Yeah.
The Beatles over and over again.
Over and over again. But hi, guys. Good morning. We're here with you again on a Saturday morning. Shilla, how are you?
I'm all right.
How was your journey down?
Long, as per usual, but I know it's going to be worth it.
Because you're with me.
Oh.
Tumbleweeds, right? Guys, I hope you're getting used to our voices and you're still listening to us because it feels a bit surreal.
I know, but someone just said, I just saw something that someone put on one of my socials that we're making magic.
Making magic.
Making magic. I like it. I like the idea of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Making magic.
Whatever turns her on, isn't it? Or whatever wakes her up in the morning. Yeah.
That's what gets me down here, the hour and 10-minute drive from Surrey.
Making magic, yeah. Making magic. That's what gets me out of bed.
Yeah.
And I roll into my living room.
Out of bed or in bed, Shilla?
Oh, you dirty cow. Dirty cow. Yeah. I'm born again. Oh, so this week it's an interesting one actually. I don't know, obviously, guys, you've been around us for a couple of weeks now, and sometimes our topics vary. We have a serious side and we have a side that can sometimes be quite comical, but we've always said this anyway, we have like serious conversations
all the time,
with some laughter on top of it. And this topic, I don't want to make it so comical because I can imagine a lot of people go through it or are going through
or
it
or have
been through it.
Yeah.
So this is one that's going to have a lot of information on the blogs.
Yeah.
It's going to have help. It's going to have advice around it as well.
Yeah.
So here we go. The question is, the statement is, relationships break down, but what happens to the children?
Yeah. You know,
so I'll let Michelle lead on it.
Yeah, so I think today, I think we just wanted to have a conversation, just trying to get, ourselves and people thinking about, when relationships break down, which, they sometimes do, where, and there's children involved, what happens to the children? What thoughts, what actions, how are we dealing with what needs to happen for the children and what may be going on for the children?
Yeah, I think, I think it also includes people that are raising children on their own and are trying to engage with the other parent or partner in terms of to manage this child's behaviour growing up with the child. I think sometimes my view. I know Michelle's
every time she says my view, I panic.
When I say my view, because my view is always like off, innit? Well, my view is like, at the end of the day, some people don't think about their kids in separations, simple. I'm gonna put it out there, Some people don't care, They'll be like, they'll pretend that they care.
I was gonna say,
but their actions say otherwise, So it's like they're not thinking about, what's this happening? What's this doing to the child? And I'm not saying that it's this is really controversial. I'm not gonna say that it's only mothers that have that feeling, because I've got a really good friend of mine, bless him, and I know he's gonna hear this, he is like the best dad ever.
Really?
Like he is the best dad.
Is he the full-time carer of the child?
He's not the full-time carer of the children.
Of children.
Children. And he's my age, Wow. And when I say my age, I mean we're young. No, he's my age, but the responsibility, his relationship didn't work out with the mother, but they had 3 children. And the mother made it really hard for him to see the kids, but his perseverance, and sacrifice to be with his kids has just blown me out. He would pick up his children from school on a Friday, keep them for the weekend, drop them to school on a Monday morning, go into central London where he works, come back and do certain things. He has days during the week where he goes and picks them up, and for the longest time, this woman was making it so difficult for him, and he's doing what he can do. And don't forget, he's putting money on top.
The only thing I will say on that,
Yeah.
because I don't know, for some of you that may know my situation, I have a child who's not with my husband, so I have an elder child who's from a previous relationship, and I'm always just so mindful about the certain decisions that I've had to make over the years that have been that maybe my daughter's dad hasn't appreciated or maybe not understood. And I'm always so mindful about the narrative or the story that he's given off to his people. So I don't know this friend that you're talking about. Honestly, I don't know who it is at all. But I just think sometimes that parents, you do need to make certain decisions that may not necessarily sit well with the other parent, but as the the primary caregiver,
she might have other reasons.
She might have other
Can
reasons.
I just say something here? So, like, not even to, because nobody knows who he is anyway, so it's not even that I'm talking anybody's business. But he would do all of that, plus give an allowance. Remember, he's got the kids for the weekend,
every single weekend.
Most weekends, like, it doesn't lapse. And it's not because it's been done. He asks for his kids every weekend. It's not that it's your turn, have the kids. He asks for them kids. And he still buys them clothes when he's with them.
So he's a very active parent. He's not no weekend dad. No.
And he would still give her an allowance. Now, something happened where she was staying with them. Like, the kids came to stay with him, and she came as well. Because he goes for the peaceful option, and he's like, well, if I want my kids to be here, I'm gonna have to have her here as well at some time, Is that
what she said? The mum said?
No, this was what he said.
Okay.
So now,
what did the mum impose that actually, if my kids are coming round, then I have to come round?
It was during the pandemic.
Okay.
So anyway, so he does this, but my girl still wanted him to pay that allowance,
even though
she's in my
under
house,
his roof, his
my
electricity.
And then it just bedazzled me. I was just like, that's the word I'm looking for. That's the English I'm looking for here. It's just like, I just thought to myself, like, how can a person just want to take, And that's what gets me to say, this is why I have like such a viewpoint of like, a lot of people don't think about the child. They don't think about the impact on what is happening to the child. It's more about what they feel or how that relationship ended for them, or what might...
So the emotions.
The emotions are played out
for the children,
but the gratification is for the parent.
Yeah.
So it's like, hang on a minute, what we're talking about here, And I feel like people sometimes get stuck. I don't know how you feel. Well, your situation was a bit different because you had our little one, and then it was kind of like, okay, here I am. I'm doing what I need to do. If you're going to be here, you're going to be here. And obviously you wanted your child to know their father. Because it wasn't a case of, I think maybe it's even because of your background. Of like your profession, etc. But some people don't have that thought, but it doesn't mean they're not able to connect with the needs of the child. Does that make sense? But some people cannot connect with the needs of the child, and it's all about what it is for them.
And it's a difficult one, because I'm not going to sit here, I think because I'm in the situation as well. But then I'm also thinking about where it's kind of gone wrong. So actually, in terms of when we talk about emotions, we talk about, I'm thinking, trauma, I'm talking about potential loss, I'm talking about, I don't want to call it bitterness, but I could imagine, and this isn't my situation at all, but I could imagine, for example, if I'd raised a child single-handedly for a period of time, and then all of a sudden the dad wants to come in and wants to be doing X, Y, Z, wants to be playing Superman, whereas actually after however many years, Super Daddy, after however many years, I've been doing this by myself, and now you just want to come in. I'll be like,
okay, and this is why I've got this question for you. So, do you make the right decisions for the child, or is it your emotions?
And that's where actually
you're stuck.
No, it's not even where I'm stuck. I'm very, very clear.
Where some people are stuck.
That's where some people are stuck, and and I don't think it would be easy. But actually, that's where I would say that the primary caregiver, be it the female or the male, that's where they actually need to step up and be like, do you know what? as much as it's gonna burn me, as much as, you know, it's gonna hurt and I'm not happy about how things have been, it's about they're gonna need to start thinking about decisions that where they're prioritizing the needs of the children above that of themselves. So above all their anger, their bitterness, their resentment, actually they need to think about, okay, what's in my child or children's best interest? You know, because I think, you know, as we already know, where it's safe and in the best interest of the child, they should know both parents and both sets of families. So long as it's safe, you know, that should always be the thing, you
Priority,
know, the happiness. That should be our priority. You understand, as parents. But I guess that there's external factors that may make that hard.
I can see that. Do you know what? It's not a laughing matter. I don't even want to laugh about this subject.
Then stop.
Guys, I'm sorry.
As she said, as she's laughing away.
I don't want to laugh. But you know, I've had some stories where people are just like literally just scared, of even letting their kids go to the other side of the family. And they're just like, no, I don't want to let my kid go. I don't want to let my kid go, And there's people that are okay with it. Like, take your child, take your son, take whatever. But it's just like, it's separation for me, On a normal, when people separate from a relationship, it's painful.
And then we've had kids
kids to it,
knowing that you're gonna, because ideally those kids are gonna be around, well, by God's grace, they will be around for the next 18 years. So that means you are gonna have to have interaction with that person every single week at least for the next 18 years. And dependent on where you are in the separation, 10 years, 5 years, wherever it is, until that child is a young person, a young adult, and they can start managing those relationships by themselves. So I guess, I know it's hard, it is going to be hard, but again, what are you prioritizing?
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Sister's got emotions too. Because I'm just thinking, you left me and now you want to come back and take my child. God. I haven't even got kids, but I could just think, And to be honest, I see it all the time. Like when parents are just like, no, I'm not letting the person see my child. And we're in court most of the time saying, I know. Can you let the child be? But in the back of my mind, sometimes I'm just like, nah. If it was me, I would say no way.
Really?
Do you know what? Depending on the suffering that I've been under, and if I've got good men around me, that are good examples of what a man should be,
But if that parent's
active,
if that parent has done no harm to the child,
by the time you left me, you harmed the child.
Oh, come on, no.
My mental health is at stake now.
No.
From when you chose to leave that door, you harmed me.
I feel a Whitney song coming on. No.
Don't make me close one of my doors. I don't want to hurt.
It's enough.
No, seriously, Let's get back to the real biscuit of the thing, No, it's not. I don't think it's that, babes, I just feel like from when you left, you knew how you left me. You knew what the situation was, You knew how I was going to feel.
Just because they don't love you no more doesn't mean they don't love their kids.
If you can't love the person that gave you the child, you cannot love the child.
Please. That is not true.
I'm clinging.
I know, right? You're clutching at these straws,
clutching at anything.
Let the straws go, man. Take off them nails. Damn.
No, I just feel like it's just like, and it's not even to say that men don't look after their children, because I know a lot of men that do, because like women will walk away from their children because they weren't ready, or it's things like postnatal depression that will make you leave. There's so many factors around it, but I just feel like I think because we're in this area of work as well, we see it a lot. My only problem is how the people deal. How can you balance it? And how do you look at it from the child's perspective? Because you know what I find, it's not for every case, because it's not a one blanket fits all kind of situation. What I find is the parent that is left behind with the child, they go through a lot.
Here.
Yeah, like
here.
For the listeners that don't know what here is,
that is preach, my sister. However you want to put it, translation, however you want to put it. I get that, and I can say it because I've been it. And as much as my daughter's dad has been, very active. He has been very active. He's always been there. But actually, you know, it's not a situation where he was staying overnight to help me with those night feeds.
Yeah.
When she was teething, when she had those temperatures, those
the
ear
nightmares,
infections, the nightmares,
night terrors.
you know, he wasn't there, and it was just me.
Yeah.
You know, so as much as a
man's on a holiday with a girlfriend.
Guys,
I swear down, Michelle just threw her head right back.
I'm telling you, flipped my 22 inches.
Right back.
It's not easy.
Let me wind her up a little bit more.
This girl, memories. No, you're right. Like, you're right. As much as, you know, an active the parent who's no longer living in the household, you know, as active as they are not going to be there. You know, and that's why I say, you know, I think it's only recently I've learned about the primary caregiver. So as active as the parent who's no longer in the household can be, you know, I was still that number one.
And I sometimes feel like, like even if they're active, should I be calling you for everything? If he was here, especially if you've been together, and then you left the house, and now, Brian fell down. So I'm calling you to let you know Brian fell down, You should have been here. So that resentment in me as a woman, I'll just be like, well, if you was here, you would have known your son fell at school today, or your daughter was bullied today,
Wow.
But you wasn't here.
And I think, do you know what it is? Each to their own, because I'm not a person that I would, you know, I would call on anybody. It's hard. I like to
call on Jesus.
Call on Jesus. I like to sort things out and get things done by myself. So you're right. I wouldn't be, you know, just falling down unless it was serious. That's when I'm letting her dad know. But then, you know, and maybe this is for another topic that we can think of. You know, they say that we can discuss another time that, you know, some men will actively say, you know, if a girl has fallen pregnant and they have said, I don't want the pregnancy, I'm not ready for a child, they will then say, well, I've told you how it's going to be, or I've told you I wasn't ready for this. And therefore, whatever you choose to do for the next 18 years and 9 months of this pregnancy and the child's life, it's up to you. And then what happens?
Do you know what? It is what it is.
And that's me anyway.
For me, my reality is somebody's told me exactly what they're saying. I'm not gonna. It's on you. You better pray you've got a good supportive family around you. Or if you said,
but what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't have those feelings?
Well, the thing. Let me not say too much.
You know, it's a lot. It's difficult. You know, it's a lot and it's difficult.
I just kind of like feel like. Is that entrapment?
Whoa, what? Entrapment?
Because I've told you I don't want to have a child for you.
Entrapment?
And now you're trapping this child on me.
I didn't make this child by myself. I'll tell you that for now. I didn't make this child by myself.
It's true, but when we finished doing the dids, I gave you a pill and I said, make sure you swallow it.
Yo, he's crazy.
You swallowed everything else, now swallow this.
Shilla. I want to throw something at her, but my coffee is too hot. I don't want to spill it. This girl.
Now, guys, I'm being controversial as usual.
This girl.
I'm being controversial as usual. I'm just having a joke. Like I said, we'll take it there sometimes. No. Okay, so you want to have the child?
Yeah.
I don't even believe in abortions anyway. So
I'm pro-choice.
You're pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice. I believe women, you know, do whatever you need to do to make you happy. Because, you know. And I've seen it at work where children have had...
No, when I say I don't believe in abortions, let me clear it, I don't believe that somebody should come and tell you, abort this child.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whatever a woman wants to do, she should do, because it's a decision that only she has to live with.
You wake up.
You have to wake up every day for the next 18, 25, 30 years.
The rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. And have to think of, that's the decision I made, you understand? But the reality is that, you know, I just think that women, you know, there's nothing a man, once the deed is done and the baby's there, you know, it's hard. And I mean this, I can't even say it in the nicest way because it is what it is. But actually, once the baby's there, unfortunately, the decision does lie with the female.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what? Sometimes it's like, if you wasn't in a relationship with the person when you got pregnant and you was just maybe doing a thing,
you're seeing each other.
You're seeing, that's the English I was looking for. You're seeing each other, and that's happened. You're not in a committed relationship. It's just like you said, seeing each other. Explain what seeing is.
So basically, where you haven't said that you are exclusive, where it's just me and that you and that person, whereas you're actually still getting to know each other, and you're just trying to figure out if this can what you're doing can proceed to a relationship.
Yeah, that's seeing somebody. And some people, when they're seeing people, they're seeing other people as well.
Exactly. Even I don't understand that, but still.
Michelle was like, it's one date, you're my boyfriend.
Nah, not one date. But if you're seeing someone, I don't understand. You're meant to be giving everything to see if this can work as a relationship.
Yeah.
So how then can you be parallel planning, if you want to call it that?
Yeah.
You're seeing if two
so
things can work.
Technological.
I know, so technological.
Yeah,
but how can you be?
She's even doing the signs, guys. Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah, but how can you be seeing if two things are going to work out at the same time? You're not giving your 100 to both any of them.
Well, it's kind of like a race, Michelle.
Nah, it's not a race, man. That's
it's
a dumb
race,
race.
and it's just like
dumb.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Shoot.
The red car is taking me to Novikov. The other car's taking me to Nando's, the blue car, And I'm thinking, hey, I really like what's happening here,
a nonsense.
And then that's accelerated, and then one day the blue car says, you know what,
I'm pregnant.
I'm gonna.
I'm pregnant.
I'll be like, you know what, we need to go to Maury Povich. You are not the dad.
I'm pregnant, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's just like people do it because sometimes this I might be enjoying the Novikov lane, the red car, but then I start to talk to the blue car a little bit more. And I'm thinking, you know what, when I go to Nando's, I don't even have to put my wig on, bruv. I could just put my hat on and go. Because it's not a serious date.
Wig life.
Yeah, that Nando's date is not a serious date,
Nah.
It's as if I'm going with my cousin.
We've digressed.
Sorry, we're back, guys, No, so obviously, you're preggers.
Yeah.
And you have the child. And you decide on what to do. Yeah? The person has said to you, I don't want to be in this child's life, etc., etc. Do you know what I've seen though? I've seen people change their minds once the child is here.
That's it.
Yeah. Once the child is here, people change their minds. So if you're a woman and you feel like you want to have this child,
do it. But what I would say is, anyway, I don't want like to say, because I'm independent. But I think the way I've been, the way
there's a song for that.
the way I deal with things is actually, if you learn to only rely on yourself, then you can't really be let down.
Oh, me, myself, and I.
I knew that's the song you were going to sing.
No, I was just singing Independent Woman for you.
I know, but I knew that was the song. Once I said what I said, I knew that song you were going to sing.
Because she says she knows me so well.
I do. I just refuse. If you notice, I've refused to sing on this podcast, and I will continue to refuse.
She won't, okay, there's one song that will get her.
She's trying to bring me out. I keep stopping myself.
She's one song that will Glastonbury stuff.
You're an idiot.
No, but so you've had the child now, and you're saying to yourself, I'm reliant on myself.
That's it. So therefore, I don't need to. Okay. Whether you're around or not, I'm still going to do what I'm doing for my child.
I find that to be easier said than done. Yeah? Because sometimes the challenge is there, and then mental health can be birthed from there, but that's a different for another day. Like, so when people have been together, we got married, we said yes, or we agreed to be in a committed relationship, some black people, they have to get married to show that's a committed relationship. Some cultures, Some white people say we buy a house together, that's commitment enough for me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or we've been together for 10 years, that's enough commitment for me. As far as we know, you're committed. Yeah, and it's been a long going relationship, and then it breaks down. And you've got this child in the middle. Yeah. And the reasons for breaking down could be different. Yeah. It could be you fell out of love. It could be whatever, But you've got this child in the middle, and you've got to deal with all the emotions of that child, on top of yours. Yeah. And now you're thinking about every little thing that you see down the road, reminds you of the fact that I was once a unit.
I was once that family.
Yeah. And now, my daughter is asking, why doesn't my dad put me to bed anymore? Yeah. Oh, how comes daddy never stays anymore? Yeah. Or why does daddy live in a one bedroom?
But do you know what it is?
And then one of you gets a new partner.
But that's where you have to have these children. I always say this, sometimes we do have to protect our children, but sometimes we need to be honest. We need to just be honest, because children grow up to be
adults,
teenagers, and then they grow up to be adults.
Yeah.
And they will always look back
Children
and
grow.
think, yeah, children grow, you know, and they're understanding. And the reality is that we are not the only ones that are teaching our children. Parents are not the only ones who are teaching our children. So we have schools, we have friendship groups. So socialization happens from
TV programs.
TV programs. They walk outside when they see in their neighbors. Socialization happens everywhere. So whatever you think that you're trying to hide from your child, they can step out and they'll see it right in their face. Bam. So it's just about having these honest conversations with your child, obviously age appropriate, and telling them what's going on. And you know, like you said, I couldn't imagine, you know, being a family unit and then
breaking
all of that breaking down, and then having to have those discussions. I've never done it, and I can't even imagine. I think it must be one of the most difficult things in the entire world. However, the importance of it, it's just, you know, that's setting the foundation of how, you know, I don't want to go all worky, but in terms of how your child is then going to be thinking about relationships as they get older.
I think what we don't normally, I think what I have witnessed in a lot of the situations is that parents make decisions for children without speaking to the children. So you never know what your child is thinking, what your child knows, and then your child turns up at the age of 12 saying to you, Actually, I knew what you was doing, you know. Or why don't you just leave? I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot in my career, where like the kid has been dealing with this issue with their parents since they were like 7. The child turns around at 15 and says, well, why don't you just leave? Because it was better for us when you was apart than when you was together, Or why don't you give me the choice to see my dad or to see my mum, etc., etc. But what tends to happen is decisions, when you get to the root of it, decisions by most parents have been made due to their own emotional state, where they're at in that state. What stage of, you know, because like separation is like loss, isn't it? So it's stages of bereavement, isn't
and the
it?
Trauma.
So it's like, it depends. Parents sometimes respond to children depending on where they're at in that
their understanding.
Their understanding of what stage of the bereavement they're at. So if they're still mad at the dad or the woman who's left, it's your dad, your mum is this, or whatever, trash. And if extended family members are involved as well, and have a negative influence on the situation, or have a negative view of what's happened, it's going to be even worse.
And do you know what I'm even thinking about? There's two sides to this. So, you know, and I know we seem to be going back to it in quite a lot of our topics, but actually it's very, very different. And I think we need to be clear on, we're not talking about the relationships where there's been violence, any form of abuse. Just a relationship just ended. We are just talking about a relationship that's just ended because someone don't want to be with another person anymore. Or someone... Oh, we're just seeing each other and I got pregnant and then... And that's it. It's just natural stuff. Because I'm just thinking that you know, there's definitely going to be some people out there that are potentially listening that are thinking, well, actually, this person did X, Y, and Z, so that's why they're not seeing my child. And you were saying something earlier on, and I thought to myself, as long as you can justify to your child, you can be held accountable for the reasons why you have stopped a certain parent seeing their child. As long as you know that actually you can stand up anywhere and say, I did this because of X, Y, Z, and make it make sense. I like to call it the court of life. Who is the judge in the court of life? This is what I'm saying, the public are. You're right. The court of life, like I always say to my best friend, look, in the court of life, I'm right. I can go, so I can tell my story to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they'll be like, do you know what, Shills? Man, you're all right. If you're the court of life can validate what I'm saying, that's it. I only call myself into the court of life when I know I've been straight. But but then the court of life isn't that going to be dependent on your people and who you follow and who share your values? So my court of life, my friendship court of life, may be very, very different from Olivia's dad's court of life people. Black and white is black and white. You know what I mean? There's no way you can. There's right and wrong. There's right and wrong. Even like the blind man can see it. There's grey. Look, you're not Ray Charles. Girl. I'm not Ray Charles, I can see, I can see. Wow, okay. No, okay, there's right and wrong that you said, I cheated.
or I beat you, or I done whatever, I
did you wrong.
I used to take my child to see their dad every weekend, but every time I turn up at the door, he'll slam the door in my face.
Okay.
That's extreme, but it happens.
Yeah.
Or every time I turned up, the phone was off. Or I used to call you to say your son wants to speak to you,
and you didn't
answer. Yeah. I came to your mum's house. I made provisions for you to have a relationship with your daughter, with your son, with your children, and you didn't respond to that. So what am I supposed to do? So if I go out to the court of life and I'm saying, like, listen, this is what I've done to make it right or to try and facilitate this relationship, and it hasn't been welcomed, I'm right in the court of life.
Yeah. No. And I get that.
Because if I've set up here things like call the child at this time, try and get your phone calls in, but you keep messing around with the child's emotions, and I choose not to let you see the child anymore, or let you have communication anymore till you're able to commit.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is what is the impact on the child. People don't think about that.
And that's what we need to be.
That's
all you need to. But I don't know, because you've said some things that I haven't even thought about. So, like you said, dependent on where that person is in dealing with whatever they're going through, that will impact on their ability to do that.
So I've got one friend of mine, bless her cotton socks. Like, if she was going through something, but her thought was, what happens to my kids?
And that should be the thought.
if this breaks, what happens to my kids? I can't.
If I break.
Yeah. What happens to my children? I can't. And husband's lovely, but like every relationship, it goes through tests and trials, So, but I was taken back by her thought process. And it wasn't even, and people might say that, it's a negative affair, it's a negative effect when you think about your children as opposed to yourself. But if your relationship, again, is not like physically abusive or abusive in any way or form, but it's just going through a bad patch, even if you choose to separate, because that's up to you as well. Don't stay for the kids, because the kids grow. They
grow and they'll leave.
They'll grow and they'll leave, and then then they'll go and marry somebody else, and then they'll say, "Mum, we're moving to Spain."
God forbid.
And then you'll be here in Peckham.
I know. It's sad.
Do you know what I mean? And then the child's gone, and you've sacrificed everything you was for your child. And of course, being a parent is about being sacrificial anyway. But there's ways of being smart about it.
Exactly.
And maybe I speak from out of the box, because first of all, I'm not a parent, but I have got a lot of godkids, and I've got great nieces as well, who are wonderful, and I feel like I parent. But even if it's that decision being made, you've got to make it right, because
make it make sense.
Make it make sense, because I always think, if you're not right in the head, what you're giving to your kids.
If you're not well, how can you be well for others?
It's that's like if your venom drives you, I don't care how great of a parent you are. It
will have a negative impact
on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's like finding ways of how to deal with it. And I know people maybe are listening and thinking, this topic has nothing to do with me, and it's not something that I subscribe to because I haven't been through it, or I don't know anybody who's been through it. But literally, it can happen to anyone.
At any stage.
Like separation, and it's just like, you've got to think about what your decisions, even when you argue at home, what the impact of that is. I mean, I don't know if you've ever argued in front of Livy's dad, or if Livy's ever heard you on the phone.
Yeah, I think that,
and how she's felt.
Yeah, I've made a conscious effort of trying to ensure that I don't have certain discussions around my child. I don't, obviously it's got harder as she's got older.
She's nosy, boy.
I know, right? It's got harder as she's got older. So it is about, that actually, and it has got to the point actually where there's certain times where I've had to, she can tell that actually there's certain discussions that have been had between me and my dad, her dad, that I'm not happy about. But it's not for me to then sit her down and be like, can you imagine? This is what this guy is saying. This is what this guy is doing. No, because again, I'm not trying to make her see her dad
in a negative light,
in any kind of negative light, just because of, how much he's pissed me off. Because that's not, as long as it doesn't have an impact on her, on her well-being, actually it's got nothing to do with
Do you
her.
know what? There's people that I've seen, that talk so negatively in front of the children, and it's just like, what? Who is that for?
Come back to it will, because for me, in my head, I'm thinking when people do that, I'm thinking the same man that you're talking trash about, isn't that the person that you laid down to make me with?
Say it again, girl.
Come on.
Yeah, but that one.
If we got to take it there,
Yeah.
So
but I was in love then, didn't it? Yeah.
You was in love.
It was sweet talking to me. It was sweet talking to me. It was telling me no woman, no cry.
Be mindful of what you say and why you're saying it, because it will have longer implications on your child. And like I said, even more their view of relationships, their view of what's acceptable, of how or how certain relationships should be managed or navigated. Yeah,
and I think sometimes we look at it and say, oh, kids are too young to understand what's going on. And that's the lie. That's the misconception that society has taught us to believe, or the previous generation has taught us to believe, because parents would argue. And sometimes, I hear reckless talk from adults. This is when the people lie, I'm 35 years old, but I've never heard my parents argue.
That's a damn lie.
Are you alright?
That's a damn lie.
And if people want to be acting shocked, like when the dad's having an affair.
That's why they never argue, because he was never home.
I'll be like, he belongs to the streets.
Get out of here, man.
Your dad belongs to the streets. Come on. Like, even I knew as a kid that your dad was having an affair. How did you not know?
Come on.
No, but seriously, it's like the misconception is that kids don't understand, but then you get some kids and say, they'll turn around and say, oh, I know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll be like, and you as a parent think to yourself, like, what was I doing?
Yeah. What was the point?
What was the point of me doing all of that or hiding all of this information? And it was harming the child, because the child's emotional well-being was being crashed, because this child is in the house or in this relationship where you and father or you and mother are arguing, and they're trying to make it right for both of you. So they're trying
to compensate, thinking that it's got something to
do with them. So this child is thinking, if the child lives with dad, I'm not going to talk about mum because mum upsets dad. Oh, if they live with mum, I'm not going to talk about dad because this conversation upsets mum. So this little child is carrying all these emotions, and it's just like, what?
And they're a child.
Oh, they're a child.
Let children be children.
And
they got enough stuff to deal with instead of all the stuff that's going on for you
these
as an
things,
adult.
This suppression, like the emotional suppression, can cause massive mental health disorders, without even knowing. People ask, why this child got ADHD, whatever you call it, but the instability at home, or the emotional imbalance that they have at home, is what's creating to these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Or contributing, to these things. I mean, I like people that involve. You know what? I take that back actually, because it takes time.
What's that?
To get to a certain level where you and the other parent are communicating well. It takes a minute. It takes a minute.
As someone who's in it, I can say it takes a minute, but sometimes it doesn't even last.
It always goes back to the second.
No, it's waves. It's ups and downs. You know, it's ups and downs because, my she's coming up to 10, and it's been up and down. We have our good times. We have our bad times. I can't even say it's consistent, because I'm not going to sit here like everything's perfect and, we're the perfect co-parenting family. It's not that at all. It has its ups and downs, but what we do have to do every so often is remind ourselves of what is the type of child.
Give us a little thing, how do you not come to compromises and things like that? Do you let your little one have a say?
Certain things she has to have a say, because obviously, like I said, she's 9, nearly 10 years old. So actually, there's certain things now that I'm saying to her, do you know what? Okay, what do you want to do?
What if she turned around and said to you, I want to go and live with my dad? You're too strict in this house,
Nah, do you know what it is?
I'm tired of eating jollof rice and pie and mash.
I always pray. This girl's an idiot. We had pie and mash the other day. It was lovely. Steak and kidney. Thank you very much. This girl's an idiot. But no, I think, you know what? If I just, obviously that would break my heart. That would literally, I'm not even going to lie, that would snap my heart in two. Yeah, that literally would.
Yeah.
However, what am I going to do about it? Because the worst case scenario, she's saying these things, and if I'm not going to listen to her, she's going to start acting these things. And once they start acting these things, that's not that's not the kind of child. I don't want to have to force her to do certain things for attention or just to feel listened to. It would break my heart. Literally, it would be the worst, probably one of the worst things that could happen to me. But I would have to listen to it or try and find some sort of compromise.
That middle ground.
Literally, that middle ground. If makes me sad thinking about it, and it's not, and I've thought about it before. It's it's not something that, because you see it maybe when they get to their teenage years and they get a bit tired of your boundaries. Okay, well, I'm going to go and test out their boundaries. And like I said, you can't say no, because I don't want to force her to do certain things because she feels not listened to.
That would be hard.
I'm telling you, I'm worst case scenario. Like, I can't even ship her off to Nigeria. She hasn't got a green passport yet. Bloody hell. I joke.
He'll go and get her. He'll be like, He'll be like, I'm gonna go and get her.
I joke. I joke.
He'll go and get her. But I just find it really hard to comprehend. It's just like, you've raised this child, and this child turns around and says, you thought you did the best for this child, and I guess you tapped on something in the sense of how can you check in to see how this child feels about what's going on, because it's important to check in with your children.
100%.
Yeah, because, and I find that parents that have the child living with them, they really paint the other parent as like a hero.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to disappoint your child, or you don't want to create a negative connotation for the child's parent.
Yeah.
Because that child adores the other parent, even if you do everything else.
Yeah.
From face value, it looks like that child adores the other parent. One thing I was going to say is what I have seen is some parents that choose not to be a part of their children's lives, they have the parent that keeps the child. I've seen women that do this. I've only seen women. I don't know about men. So don't come for me. They will go out of their way to reach out to the paternal family, so that contact is still maintained, even though the dad said, like what you said before, I don't want nothing to do with this child, etc., etc. But normally the family around are quite welcoming.
And hats off to those women. Hats off. That is amazing, because again, that is thinking about that child. That is thinking that actually, as much as she's a part of your family, she also has another part of a family, cousins, grandparents, uncles,
there's a lot you could be missing out on.
So much.
They could be millionaires.
So much, but as much as they're part of they're part of something else as well. And in terms of that young person's sense of identity and belonging, it's so important for them to know that actually I'm part of something else. I'm part of something bigger. I have two sets of grandparents. I have cousins. I have this. I have that. So I think women who do that are amazing. And I think that is, in my opinion, one of the ways in which you can prioritize the needs, because you're not doing it for you. That them grandparents, they're not going to be. You're not going to ask them for any financial payments. But actually, you're doing it for the benefit of your child, which I think is amazing.
Right, there you have it. That was a bit of a hard one, I think.
Yeah, but it was nice.
It was nice. It was reflective, isn't it? That one. It's a reflective one. I think.
Off the cuff.
I don't understand that English, but hey.
I'll just stick with my steak and kidney pie.
Off the cuff, okay? Don't know what that is, but there you go.
This girl.
Sorry jokes, I guess.
This girl.
No, but really, guys, we implored you to actually come onto the website and talk to us through our website. www.coffeemorninglaughter.com. Right.
Anything you didn't agree with, anything you wanted to point out, anything you thought was useful, or anything actually you think they're talking a whole bunch of crap.
Let us know. And you know what, guys, we're going to stress it a little bit. We know a lot about this area, so if you have questions, you can directly inbox us or send us an email. Like it's all on the socials anyway. You can pick it up from there, and then you can have the questions that you have answered. This was a bit more serious than usual, so we want to get the response that we need to help people. We're not just a laughing podcast, but quite informative as well. So talk to us about this situation. If you know anybody that's going through it and you want to ask questions on their behalf, come through and ask the questions. But right now, I'm going to go jogging. See you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.